Well, joining me now is Abby Penstone, who is the CEO of the Focus Group, and also Cilla Goldberger, who is a Focus Group board member and also a TNC, a Focus partner. We've talked a lot to people today about holidays, about the leisure industry, but of course the business travel industry has been absolutely decimated by this pandemic, really hugely affected. Tell us where your industry is.
Okay, so our industry is struggling. We've seen it come to a grinding halt. I think furlough scheme has absolutely given us a lifeline where we've needed it. It's allowed these businesses to strip back to a lean state. The concern is that once furlough ends, is that it's going to expose some gaping big wounds there. So this is why today it's so important for us to come together and really, as an industry, ask for an extension of that furlough scheme for our sector. I've said it several times today, the government is very big on data. They say they're making their decisions based on data. Look at our data. It's very evident. I don't think we're asking for anything unreasonable or unexpected, given the circumstances that we find ourselves in. So one of the big things that we're asking today is for an extension of that furlough scheme for our sector. Cilla, I don't know if you want to add anything on to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that what needs to be recognised often is the struggle of the business travel sector, the TMCs. We, unlike other industries, we were unable to mothball our businesses. We can't just shut down. We have clients we still need to service. Unfortunately, servicing them means usually refunding and exchanging. It means working for nothing. So the furlough scheme, as Abby said, has been amazing. It's been, lifeline for most of us. But at this point, we haven't been able to, most of the time, utilise the furlough to its full extent because we do need to keep teams on. We haven't been able to shut down our offices. We haven't been able to switch off our systems. Our clients, our corporates, not only need us, they need us more than ever. Actually, if anything, right now, business travel is more difficult, more complicated. And we know that, I think the phrase that was used not long ago was once known as agents is absolutely a bizarre comment and something that we don't understand, whether it's an agent or consultant or what other terms needed. We've always been there and we will always be there. And at the moment, we need to be able to assist our clients to do what they're unable to do on their own. And without the help to get us through further, especially with the complications of travel at the moment and the difficulties with entries into countries, our travellers, our corporate travellers are unable to travel. Yeah. Not the UK travellers, other countries can, and that's why we need the help. Europe is able to travel, US is able to travel, UK is not.
Yeah, so we're really being left behind.
We're being left behind, we are, and unless that's fixed, that will be exacerbated as time goes on. Other countries have benefited from different financial aids and grants that's actually enabled them to stay not only afloat but actually open and have actually invested in the future of their companies. Yeah. This country, we've had to pull back, as Abby said, to a lean state. We have had to just put on what we can. We haven't been able to develop. We've all had to invest in risk management and duty of care systems. Yes. We've done all of that early on. Our entire industry has stepped up. And the business travel industry, more than any, the amount of technologies that we've been able to put in there and we're able to offer. But we ourselves, it costs, and we haven't been given any aid for that. Yeah. So we are unfortunately falling behind, not only the world but Europe as well, which is a struggle. Where will that leave us when this is finished?
Okay, really good point. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I think that the thing is, the value of a TMC has never probably been as important as it is at the moment. There's a complex landscape ahead of us for business travel moving forward. We were talking about Brexit prior to the pandemic. That's not gone away. There's still complexities around that. We need these TMCs protected so that when corporates decide to mobilise their business travellers, that they've got people responsibly and safely managing those business programmes. Without that, we're going to be introduced to a whole nother level of problems. We're asking government now to help us now so that we can help as we navigate out of this situation that we're in.
And just talk to me about, you say you've streamlined businesses. Have you lost a lot of people from this sector? Have you had to, or are people, have they managed this far, but now it's gone on so long that you really are on the edge?
There's been casualties. Yeah. I think the thing with the Focus partners is, they're good, solid businesses. Coming into this pandemic, they were, respected, good, solid businesses, which put them in a good position to fight the fight that they've had in front of them. But the reality of it is that that fight can only last for so long. Yeah. And without that support, you're then going into a different kind of fight altogether. So there have been some casualties along the way. You will have seen the feeling of emotion down on the College Green there with the fear of more job losses coming, and that's the big concern, is that once furlough scheme comes to the end, a sector that isn't going to be trading to levels that it was in 2019 for a while is incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that TMCs have never been more important, and we've said that about leisure agents as well, because there is so much complexity, a lot more hand-holding and reassurance needed. But there are people that say actually people aren't going to travel for business so much anymore, because we've obviously learned how to use technology to meet remotely. So what would you say to that? I mean, and are you finding that your corporates actually are just desperate to get back for face-to-face meetings?
Yeah, they totally are, and we've had multiple situations throughout the years. Whatever happens around the globe, the travel sector suffers, whether it's a national disaster or whatever it is. In the travel always comes back for a reason, and our clients are desperate to. I think the fact that the idea that we've discovered technology, this technology was here, we were all using this technology before, it's not new to us. So the thought that the use of this technology wasn't already considered, I think going back, if I think back to after the crash, so we're looking at 13 years ago, most clients already had in place a justification for travel over virtual means. The virtual means have been there. The reason they travel is because they have to. Now, might they cut back a bit? Yeah, I believe that there's a chance that there would be some, and it's as should be every now and again. They need to take stock and say, do we need to send 2 people? Maybe we can send 1.
Right, yeah.
But they still need to go. You still need that handshake. I think that, if we consider and we even look at, arguably the reason that the Delta variant has grown here is because our Prime Minister was adamant that he had to travel to India and try to hold on to that hope for a trade meeting. Well, why didn't he do it over Zoom to start with? And that's just a fact. So he had to give it up, but our Prime Minister himself proved that our businesses, our clients' businesses, have to travel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think technology, it has its place, and the platforms of Zoom and Teams, for example, it has its place. Is it a replacement? Absolutely not. We're not designed to sit in front of a screen for...
I think we're all fed up with it now as well. It was probably a bit novel, but I mean the number of people on College Green today that are just like, we're seeing you again for the first time. I mean, there's frustration and people are upset down there today, but actually there's been a real sort of spirit of community spirit, people coming together and enjoying that personal contact again.
And I think that's not just that's just not our sector, that's just not our industry. We've all got friends in different industries and sectors. They've got the need to get out and experience what we've all experienced today, that togetherness. And that's just how humans are designed to interact. And naturally that's when you build relationships, when you're together. And I think there's probably never been the need more coming out of this lockdown for people to get together, but they need to do it safely and they need to do it responsibly. And that's what these travel management companies, that's what they've built their businesses doing.
Built to do that.
Yeah.
And so finally coming out of today, there's another sitting, isn't there? It's been 12:30 to 2:30 and another from 3 till 5. But seeing everybody coming out today, are you feeling a little bit more encouraged that the government will listen to us now and take business travel seriously?
I hope so. I don't think we could have demonstrated as an industry how we can responsibly demonstrate. So let us responsibly manage people's travel programs. So I genuinely think, and there you go. The feeling is for our industry, it needs to be protected. It has that value that it can provide to the corporates, and corporate travel is so incredibly important, and it's going to be important to keeping our economy going.
Absolutely. Well, you've both put that case across very eloquently today. We wish you and the rest of the focus group members all the best.
Oh, thank you.
And we hope that we get listened to, and we hope there is some support for our sector. Thank you very much.